Right, let's just make sure everything works. So if you go to your front end here and you open your what's it called, inspector tool, and if you have view, or you can use the one down here, it's just gone right now, but if you can just make sure to check your view, and you can see inside I have new products, and I can expand those and see the products. That's great. And I also have the new product here. So once I start typing here, this should be populated by information, but right now it is not being populated. So names doesn't say SZ, and so on and so on. And if we look at the code, it says up here, new product, there's no errors at all, no red lines, nothing. But I was a little bit too fast when doing this, because I'm using view, and view uses two different things to make sure everything is dynamic or reactive. So I need to wrap my object here inside a ref. And this is the reason why it won't update. And now I get an issue with ref, cannot find now ref. So of course I have to import ref up here inside my script when we have the other thing. So if you do this, save and go back, and you should be able to now see the updated version. When we expand this, you can now see it says whatever name you're passing through and product prices and so on. Groovy. Good. So let's start actually updating the or creating the structure for this one. Now I'm going to basically take this apart, the AddProduct here. So we're going to do a reusable system. So we're going to make small components instead, or callback functions, and do step by step, and then finally adding them into the AddProduct. So I'm going to start above this one. And the first one I want to set is, or create, is one I'm going to call setDefaultValues. So sort of my, this part down here, what I'm going to send through the body tag. So up here, before this one, I'm going to create a content here called setDefaultValues for this part here. Equal parentheses, fat arrow, and curly brackets. There we go. That was close. And I'm zooming a little bit. So just having the structure as the first part. Now, I need to pass through some information. What I need to pass through is, okay, now it's a little bit close. What I need to pass through is all the information I get from up here when I do a new product. And this is stored down here in new product. So I need to be able to grab this information and then pass it through here. So I'm going to use product here. Now this might be confusing right now, but this is the iterative name. So for each time I'm going to send a product or create a product, I'm just going to call it product. So this is just the naming part of it. It also fits with what we already set up when we have a create one. So this is what our Mongo also is known, already knows. But I'm not going to use the, as previous we did before, we did product here, right? That's what we did before. But now we're going to use new product instead, which we created moments ago. So that's the first thing that will take through the information we have. Now we also need to send another thing, which is the user ID. And I'm going to try to spell this correctly this time, and I did. Woohoo! And the user ID is a string. So these are the parameters I'll pass through with information about which user put it up, and of course which part the user does. So I'm just I could have put this in here, but again I'm going to do this so it's more reusable and sustainable and maintainable in the future, and then that's what we want. So in here I'll do a return because I just want the data to be accessible for us. And now I just basically need to go through each step of these. So the first one that we send to Mongo will be name, and it will be product name, like we have in the, like we did before. So you can guess what you need to do for the next step, which will be product description. And here I'm going to attach something because the name here states set default values. So I'm going to I'm going to have this one be the only one that can be empty. That can't be empty. So the user has to fill out information here, otherwise give us an error. for example, if we just want to test something quick, which we are in development stage right now, so that's actually a good idea for speed and testing. So I can never leave this blank, so I'm going to leave it here. But for the description, I either want the product description. I'm going to make spaces here because it annoys me. Not new yeah, that's fine. New product description, default value, if you want to add more. So this is something we can use TS for as well. So either send this through or send us a default value, which is great for this test here. Now we just need to go through, so the image URL is great. If we put in a image URL, it will take this one. If we don't put anything in, it will use the pixel.photos, so which is the random photos. And then we'll just go through. So if there's no price, if there's no stock, if discount percentage, let's just add this for false instead, because why would you want a discount without anything? And is hidden, yes, it's listening to me. And then finally is the user ID by underscore created. So we're setting up this here, so we're just extracting it basically from the ad here, the ad product. So making smaller components now, creating what we want to call component-based programming.